Hello everybody, I have 3 new cards today that I'd like to share with you. Welcome back to Ruth-Mania JNTV. Here's the first card. It's a 1920s Babe Ruth from an unknown set, graded by AGC, American Grading Company, not a well-known company. The card is an original. We have ran all of these cards through tests to make sure that they are authentic. You might be able to see the lithography on it. Solid black, where the name is in facsimile. Super rare card. I have not seen another one like it, honestly. It is a blank back. Here's the back of the card, very clean. I have no idea what it's worth, since it is the only one that I have seen. It is miscut. You can see the border is off here on the left side, but overall the card does not have much creasing. Second card that I'd like to show you today is a 1948. And that is a 1948 Babe Ruth number 12 Swell Bubblegum Sports Thrills, graded 8. It's a bit tough to see. I'd like to show the detail. Eventually I'd like to get a better camera. Very nice card. A bit off center, but a pretty cool image of Babe Ruth. And I believe he just hit a home run and he's shaking hands with Lou Gehrig, number 4. Here's the back of the card. A very scarce card. We have not seen too many of these up for auction. And then we have a 1920s to 1930s Babe Ruth Jacobs Bar free drink card with a hole punch. Obviously somebody had received a drink and they handed this card to the bartender. Try to show the detail here. Sometimes in different light you can see, and I can show you that these are authentic by showing you how they're printed without using a jeweler's loupe or putting it under magnification. On the back there's a stamp here that says Jacobs Bar free drink. We put that under magnification and it has no dots in it, so it's definitely not from a modern printer. It's actually stamped into the card. Pretty cool card. 1920s to 1930s Jacobs Bar free drink card. (1948) Sports Thrills Babe Ruth. 1920s Babe Ruth from an unknown set Yankees portrait card. Here's some miscellaneous pieces from my collection. We have a 1932 mini baseball bat from the World Series where Babe Ruth called his shot. I believe it was in Game 3. 1932, the Cold Shot Bat, and that's a mini bat. I actually have two of these in the collection. One's a darker grain wood and one's a lighter grain wood, and they're both original, both authentic, from the Cold Shot game. A great World Series where Babe Ruth called his shot, which made him pretty much the Sultan of Swat that day. And then here I have a collection of very rare items, a few pins and odds and ends, and a button that I've never seen another one of. This one right here from Red Rock Cola, right there. This one right here in 1932 is also the Cold Shot pin that the press would use to get into the ball game, and that is an original pin from the Cold Shot game, the World Series. Here's a 1924 pin, press pin. And then we have a very, very, very rare pin of Babe Ruth. I believe it's a Quaker Oats pin. This gold one right there in the center. It's a very rare pin. And here's a newer pin here. I didn't mean to make those all jumble up together. Back to the 1932 pin there. That was actually owned by a baseball player. He was a famous ball player. I bought it from one of his relatives. I can't remember his last name. His name was Lou, and he was actually taught baseball by Ty Cobb. So he was actually friends with Ty Cobb, and that pin was actually his. She had no idea why or how he went to that game because I believe it was after his career, and he did not play for the Yankees, but he did own the pin, so it was obviously given to him to go to the game, and I have documentation from her that this was her uncle's pin. I cannot remember his last name. It was Lou something, and he was actually a very good ball player. And then we have a 1935 Quaker Oats Babe Ruth pin right here. You can see it right there. And then, like I said, there's another Quaker Oats pin that's very rare of Babe Ruth. Not sure of the exact year. 1924 World Series pin. Here's a 1927 pin where Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs. I just picked this up at auction. Excuse me. It says, Big League leader, most home runs per season, Babe Ruth, 60 in 1927, his best season. And that pin is super rare. I've not seen another one. And then we have the 1927 World Series pin. I have not had that authenticated. It could be real. It might not. I don't know. I have not. We have not went through a thorough examination of that pin, but we do believe it is. Here is a button. I have not seen another Red Rock Cola button like this. Very cool piece. Very old. I'd like to find out more about it. Somebody was like, on one of my sites, they told me, oh, that's a fantasy piece. I have so many original pieces. I know usually when something's authentic or when it's not, and this one is actually a lithograph, and everything checks out underneath the loop. It's a very cool pin from Red Rock Cola, Babe Ruth. If you're a fan of Babe Ruth, I like anything that's an oddity. There's two more pins with the collection. We have a Sultan of Swat Babe Ruth pin and a Never Forgotten Babe Ruth pin, which I do not know the exact year on that, but I know it's not a reproduction. If you look at the back, you can see the aging. This is what you look for on an original pin from the 20s or 30s or even 40s. I believe it's from the 30s. Very cool pin. The Sultan of Swat pin. Definitely original. You want to see a bit of rust on these pins. If they're too clean and the metal looks like new galvanized smooth metal with no indication that it's old, then it's probably not an original. This one is definitely original. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have so much more to show you, and please leave a like and subscribe, and please share these videos with other collectors. I'd really like to get these videos out there. I'm not the most experienced collector, but I have a huge passion for collecting Babe Ruth memorabilia, and I hope you guys enjoy everything that I show you. Have a good night.